Hi, welcome to the Simply Slay Life podcast, and this is day 15 of my reset. This week, we're talking about financials and how I'm going about trying to improve myself financially. So, today for day 15, let's get into it. We're talking about what am I doing to try to get my money right? Okay. So, this is another tip that I'm trying to do. Um, and that is, and I think we're all guilty of this because let me tell you, it's a couple of them that when I went through, I actually forgot they were even existing. Um, my streaming services, right? So I had at least 10 streaming services that I don't even watch them all. And I'm like, how did that happen? And you just get so used to, for me, I know I got used to just having them. And I may have signed on to them at that point in time because they may have had a series on that streaming service at that point in time that I was like highly interested in, and they've canceled that series or it ended, and I just never canceled it. And I just kept it, and and one of them was as low as 2.99. So in my head, I was thinking, oh, that's a savings. I'm 2.99, and I hadn't watched that channel in over 6 months. I hadn't watched that service in over 6 months, and I was like, oh, that's a problem. And when I caught that, I was like, it's time for me to let that go. Apparently, it's not that serious if it's I'm not even watching it. And somebody might be like 2.99. I said, but if you add all them taxes and fees, that's really running about maybe almost $4. And I was like, I'm trying to get financially secure because for my mind frame, even over a 6 months period, with all taxes and fees and everything included, say it is around $4, right? 4 times 6 is 24. That's a mutual fund I could be buying, right? Or that's again, that can go toward my $30 gas bill for my house, right? Or let alone put gas in my car. So we were like, check that off. Um, I just noticed that it was just like I can't believe I had that sitting there. Um, and then there was a couple of other ones that I literally forgot I had that I was like, it's just automatically being debited out my account. And at this point in time, I need all my dollars. Right. So I was like, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. I think I'm down to like three. And those are the three that I usually rotate between, besides me having regular, the free YouTube. I'm not doing YouTube TV. But but I was like, okay, we can get rid of those other ones. The other thing that I did was my cable bill. I was like, "We not paying that." I was like, "Y'all asking for a lot when you ain't giving nothing." Right? So, I cut that out, and because I'm mainly between the streaming service and YouTube, so I was like, "We can let that go too." That was an extra $100, that I let go, and that was basic extended. I didn't have any movie channels with them. I just had the basic extended package, which means that you get more things like TBS or TNT, and you get those additional channels. So that's what I did regarding that. And then I had noticed with my internet, I was like, why am I paying for internet? I had never, you just get in the habit because it was bundled. The internet and the cable was bundled for me. So when I separated it out and said, no, we're getting rid of cable, the internet people try to say they're going to charge me 80 something dollars. And I was like, so you mean to tell me, well, no, if it was under a bundle, then it would have been 100, and it was basically like $115 as a bundle. And I was like, so without it, you're trying to charge me $80 for some internet? I said 80 internet should never be over $50. That's how I view it, right? I was like, no, no, we're not doing that. And so I shopped around because I asked them. I said, I've been with y'all for a long time, and I had been with this cable internet provider for years, at least 6 years. And I was like, can y'all beat this? Because there are like phone carriers that have a lower plan. But for days I work at home, I have to have a specific type of internet. I can't have those, I forgot what they call them. But they're usually set up through mobile phone companies, right? Not hotspots, but they're actually like you get a box and everything, but it's not a steady stream of bandwidth that comes with it, right? So it has to be a specific type, like um not I can't remember what it's called, but it's a uh a type of Wi-Fi bandwidth you have to have, right? Because at least to work from home, for my case, if I decide to those days, I need to have 25 Mbps, they said download and 30 something upload. I don't know how that is or what that is. I just know mine wouldn't, if I was going to go to one of those companies, it wasn't going to do that. Um, and so they were like, "Oh," I said, I'm getting an offer for this amount for internet, $45." "Oh no, unless you sign and you auto debit." And we were like, we trying to get rid of all this auto debit, right? Um, I was like, "So you can't beat that." They were like, "Nope." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna let you go then." And then I had to let them go. And I went to another provider that I did find that was coming in at about $45 a month. And I was like, It's too many other different internet services out here for y'all to be trying to, and y'all speeds are slower. And I have to call y'all all the time because something is down in the area, right? And I got, now it's what did they put in? Fiber optics or something like that, the company I went with. So, and I haven't been down and I ain't been having no issues. So that's what I'm doing. I will shop around now. If you can't meet me where I am or at least try to work with me and I've been a loyal customer to you, I'm gonna tell you bye because I need my money, right? And they have called me, well, can match that? Well, no, when I asked you, you told me you couldn't do that. So I'm not switching now, no. And I've done that. I'm doing that with my insurance, with my car insurance, right? My homeowner's insurance. I am trying to find the best deals. And I believe in, especially when you're dealing with car insurance or homeowners insurance, every 2 to 3 years, you need to shop around because my car insurance had got to the point I was paying $350 a month for car insurance for both of my vehicles. And I'm like, I have not had an accident. I have not had any issues. And why is that going up instead of down? And I, I that just and they were like, well, if you put your car on one of your cars on liability because my vehicles are paid off. And I was like, we're not doing that. Have you not seen these people drive? So they might not have protection on their vehicle and you come and, sideswipe me. And then my car get totaled out because I don't have any protection. Because my vehicles aren't that old. They've just been paid off, right? So my average car is probably about 5, 6 years old out of my two vehicles. So I'm supposed to take a risk to make my insurance lower. No, I'm gonna look around to see who I can find. And based on also, I told them to factor in what my credit score is, right? I have a decent one. It could be better, but it's pretty decent, right? Yeah, when I went to the other insurance company, they came all the way down to 260 for both vehicles full coverage, right? And got more collision protection and more, and rental car improved. So that is another thing that I'm doing because it adds up at the end of the day. I'm cutting out anything that you costing me money and it's more to your benefit than it is to mine. I'm a consumer. That's what keeps you in business, right? And if you're not trying to help me, I'm not trying to help you. So those are the ways that I'm trying to do to save money. Because I look at everything right now as in I need to be putting more money in my household than what's going out my household, right? For hard times. So I won't have to be steady working and working and working and still on that vicious cycle of everything is a bill. Everything is a bill. God dang, everything is a bill. Right. And I know all of us have felt like that. And so that is the thing that I've been, working towards. And those are some of the tips that I've been using to try to help me see a little bit more extra in my accounts, right? Or to have a little bit more extra to go to my emergency fund because I'm still not going to stop doing me. If I can take a trip, that's why I got side hustles. If I don't never want to feel deprived and I'm staying within my budget. And that was the way I was starting to feel. I stay in my budget. I don't overspend. I don't do this. I don't really do anything that's unnecessary. But I will not let you affect my health and well being. So if I got to get away, I'm going to get away. That's my one splurge to me, right? That is why I created one of my companies so that I wanted people to go travel with me. I wanted to go places. And if this is the way I'm gonna do it and still make some money off of it, hey, let's do it. And I don't try to nickel and dime people on travel, right? It is what it is. We're just acting like we're friends, going to hell and having a good time as a group. And that is how that's going to work, right? And that is one of the things as a side hustle I do to try to save money and get my money together, right? This is the year of, see, I don't want to be, I think of a rapper who has a song out, and I'm trying not to get copyright infringement, but it'd be like, nah, 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 wait till I get my, right? So, but just in case you don't know, that's going to be Kanye West. I at least announced who it was. So that does that count? So I won't get copyright infringement because I'm giving credit to who it is. So I think that counts. But anyway, and we ain't saying a whole bar. But I'm just trying to cover myself. I may have to put that in the description. But guys, really, what are y'all doing to try to help save money? And where have you found cuts that you are like, oh, that make that much of a difference? I didn't know, right? Or you just you realize I got stuff that I don't even use that I need to get rid of. Another thing to also try to do is I am putting together a garage sale. If I ain't used it in over 6 months, I don't need it. Somebody else can pick that up. And I do eBay. I do eBay and be posting stuff because I'm like, hey, it served me a purpose, it was good. But now I haven't touched it in at least 6 months to a year. Somebody else can have that trinket. It could be a blouse, it could be I got a couch right now. Because it sat in storage for 3 years when I moved back home, to Houston for me living also. It was a brand new couch, and then COVID happened, and I was packing up everything trying to get here. And I didn't have enough room, so I put it in storage. Basically a brand new couch. Well, I I know what I paid for it, but I want to get rid of it because it's sitting in my garage taking up space. I can't get my other little car in there. So I'm like $75. It's up right now. I'm not, so if I ain't used it, I forgot what method that's called. It's like a feng shui thing. If it's not being utilized and it's not bringing peace or it's not being resourceful or useful to you, get rid of it. But when I get rid of it, I'm need to see if I can make a dollar or two off of it, right? If I can't, I'm gonna give it away and get a tax deduction. So anyway, guys, that's all I wanted to check in with y'all and let y'all know for today. This is the steps I'm taking on how or tips. Let me say tips or steps I'm taking to get my money right. You guys let me know, what are you doing to get your money right? And how does that look to you? If this resonates with you or you have suggestions for me as to how I can also help, get my money right in my journey, leave it in the comments section. Let me know. And of course, as always, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. By the way, before I forget, I've decided Sunday evening, I'm gonna go live. It probably won't be long, maybe 20 minutes, unless some people come and really sit there with me. But I'll reiterate and get it posted up beforehand, like upcoming. And I hope to see you guys there. It'll be Central Standard Time. I'll let it probably by Friday evening on that post tell y'all when exactly I'm going live. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good one. See you soon. Thank you for watching the Simply Slay Life podcast with Shell. Bye.